Welcome back. Today's update is for September 7th. I am still in Frankfort as planned. It's been a no-go day, and I'm certainly glad I didn't get out in the water today. Just even inside this protective cove, my boat was still rocking and rolling a little bit during the evening, and the wind's been pretty good most of the day. As a matter of fact, and more on this a little bit later, but I did take a trip out to one of the overlook points today, and there's definitely whitecaps out there. Getting back to yesterday in regards to slips, the cost here for a slip is $1.25 per night with a minimum of $40. Now that includes electricity and water, and the boaters also have their own boating house with really nice showers, toilet facilities, things of that nature. It's really a nice place. So this morning, knowing that I wasn't getting on the way, I slept in a little bit, and then took a moment to check my bank accounts and take care of that kind of stuff, make sure the money was in the right places and going out and going around, all that good stuff that we all do naturally with our bank accounts. And during that time, I noticed that even with my laptop being plugged in, I was still losing power. And so I checked the side, and sure enough, the light was on where the plug was going in, and the icon said it's plugged in, but I'm still losing power. And I'm there, I don't know about that. And so after I got done with that, then I also got a communications from the folks working on my new trust. And they had sent me a document, and that I started to go through it with a computer, and I just can't do that really well. So the library is literally 100 yards, less than 100 yards from my boat. And so I went over to the library to print it up. And so I was able to print it. We were a little bit surprised it was set on landscape instead of the other one. And instead of 55 pages, it was 110 pages at 25 cents a pop. But on the other hand, now I got nice big print. I also got places where I can write notes. And so this is not necessarily a bad thing. So I took all that stuff back to the boat, and decided I wanted to get out to the Sleeping Bear Dunes National Park. There's two parks. There's Sleeping Bear Dunes National Park, and there's Sleeping Bear Lakeside National Park. And so I wanted to get out to the visitor center today, and the only rental place in town is a Vespa. Well, I've never rented a Vespa. I've never really thought I ever would. But I thought, it's the only game in town. So I went up to the shop there, and the sign said open, but the little clocky thing said it opened up at 1 o'clock. Well, guess what? It didn't open at 1 o'clock. And so I finally walked back. I found the number for the company, and the guy's not going to be in today. He's in Traverse City. So sorry about that. So I came back and was talking about that, and one of the folks that was nearby happened to have a vehicle that offered to lend me their vehicle. And so I was able to get out there and visit the visitor center and the national parks. Now, it's kind of interesting about the national parks, or this national park. The reason it's called Sleeping Bear National Park is because of the old Indian legends from the indigenous persons. The legend is that there was a great famine and possibly even a fire. I've heard that version too, where a mother bear and her cubs needed Mother Bear to save her family, decided to swim across the lake over to the east side of the lake. And so during that swim, it's a long, arduous swim, and the babies didn't make it. They both drowned in the process. And so Mama Bear, she sat up on the edge on the shore. She sat up on the shore edge and watched out over the lake just in case the bears would come back. And son of a gun, if they didn't raise up out of the water in the forms of two islands protecting Great Bear National Park. And so that's the legend of how it happened. It's really cool. And so I was able to drive out to the point, take a picture of some of the water I drove through the other day. And when I got back, I fired up plugged my computer in for the rest of the day, and I went back and turned it on, and sure enough, it's still not charging. So I got charger problems. And so maybe it's time I have to get myself a new laptop. And then, another thing that I discovered was the auto choke on Footloose, where I've got a little toggle switch where I can toggle switch and and activate the choke on the engine to start it up in the morning. Well, that's no good. I started experimenting and just used the manual choke, and sure enough, boom, started right up. Now, I talked to my cousin Freddie about that, who lives down the way a little bit. I'm going to be visiting him in a few days. And so he did some research on me. That solenoid is $165. And so guess what? I think I'm just fine pulling out the manual choke to get the engine started every day. Save myself $165. And so that's it for the update for today, September 7th, still in Frankfort. Tomorrow morning, I'll be heading out early in the morning. At least that's the way it looks right now. So thanks for tuning in. If you already haven't subscribed, please do. When you do subscribe, be sure to click on that little bell so every time I upload a new video, you hear about it. Thanks a lot. May all your seas be calm.